Hey, digital world, it is your special connect here, Justin. I am connecting to you again with another suggestion on an activity or game you could play with your students or with your family at home to help improve executive functioning skills. Now, I think many times as therapists, especially, and now with the telehealth being so prominent, people are scrambling to try to figure out different games and activities to do. Now, especially my OT friends, because we are some of the best out of the box thinkers on this planet and we enjoy having fun and being creative. I'm not discouraging you from still doing that because obviously there's going to be a lot of creativity that needs to be seen. However, I think it's important to recognize that sometimes classic games or some basic skills are really important to practice so that you could build up to those really creative out of the box games. So today, I wanted to just share a game that is common that you've probably played before in your past, but it's a game that you can use for executive functioning skills, and especially if you're struggling to figure out what some telehealth games you could do with your kids. So the game I like to share with you is I'm going to a picnic game. So if you haven't played it before, it basically is a word game where you start off by saying, I'm going to a picnic and I'm going to bring. Now, the way that I set it up with my students, and especially in a group setting, this is really great because in a group setting, they have to not only listen to each other, but they have to remember what they said and remember the pattern. But usually it'll go in alphabetical order. So the first person will say, I'm going on a picnic and I am going to bring an apple. Then the next person goes and they have to repeat everything that was brought to the picnic before them, and then they have to introduce a new letter. So I would say, if I was the second person, I'm going to a picnic and I'm going to bring an apple, and then I would have to figure out B for banana. Now, for some of us, this might be a really simple game, but for kids who struggle with executive functioning skills, this is a really tough game because not only do we have to make them sustain their attention, they need to focus on what other people are saying. They also need to problem solve because they have to figure out and predict what's the next letter they're going to have to use. So if I was the third kid in this line of who's going to the picnic and what are they going to bring, I would have to be thinking in my head not only that I have to think of a letter for C, but that also I have to remember what the other people brought. So sounds like a simple game, but honestly, it's not so simple for kids who struggle with executive functioning skills, especially if they struggle with attention. But what you'll find, especially in a group setting, is that the kids will really get into it. And if you want to upgrade the challenge, what you could do is instead of the alphabet, you as the leader can say, I'm going to the picnic and I'm going to bring a watermelon. You can instruct the next person that goes that they have to come up with a word that starts with the last letter of the word I used. For instance, if I said I'm going to a picnic and I'm going to bring a watermelon, the next person would say, I'm going to a picnic and I'm going to bring a watermelon and my nanny. So then the last letter would be Y. So then the third person would have to repeat everything that was said before and figure out a word that starts with Y. So if that were me, I would say I'm going on a picnic and I'm going to bring a watermelon, my nanny, and a yellow onion. So that makes it a lot more complicated. There's some more moving parts to it. But again, this is just a really great activity you could do um, even in a car ride if your kids are bored, or if they're home and you want them to get off of technology because they are going to be on it for so much. This is just a quick and easy game that you could play to work on those skills. So I hope it refreshed your memory, and hopefully it maybe made you think of some other games that you played as a kid that might be helpful. And use it. Use it for one of your sessions if your kids have the focus of executive functioning skills. The other thing you could do, you can always add exercise like I like to do to every activity that I do. So if you have a group, you can make the other kids in the group do like jumping jacks before it's their turn. So every kid will be doing a jumping jack until it's their turn to go. The extra movement can cause them to really have to focus extra hard on trying to remember everything. So I hope this helped. Again, I hope you are finding some of these videos to be helpful, especially if you're trying to figure out things to do at home or things to do as a therapist. So again, be good to yourselves, be good to others, work on yourselves, especially if you have the time, and Work on doing that so you could be a special connect in this world because everyone needs a special connect. Peace out, world.